Good morning and happy hump day, everybody. Wednesday, October 14th, 2020. I trust everyone had a good night last night and you're all ready for a new day here in the market. I've got a few trade ideas. Let's take a look at the charts first. Oh yeah, I want to mention here, yesterday, a new buy I made was WPM. I bought this WPM, and we've got kind of a top right here. It's pulled back, and then it started this process of what looks like a constructing a bottom, maybe ready to move back up. We've got that low, high, higher low. We went for a higher high and then pulled back yesterday. Put in a hammer candle, and it looks like we're opening up at the top of yesterday's candle. We still have an hour and a half for the market open, so anything can happen. And I'm simply looking for a run up into this 54 area, which would be about 8% on the stock, or somewhere around 20% maybe on the option. And that's what I did, is I bought a simple directional bull call. Another thing I did yesterday, I just got chicken. I couldn't stand it. I closed Wells Fargo. They have earnings today, and it just was not looking that great, and a couple other banks didn't do so well, so I just felt like I didn't want to hold it through earnings. And right now, I guess I'm feeling like I did the right thing at this point. So I closed out Wells Fargo with a little bit of loss. And I believe, and I closed INTC. I closed my Intel. I took my profit on Intel, so I'm no longer in Intel. If it was to pull back and give us a better pullback entry, a PBO, pullback opportunity, in other words, pull back to some support down here, and if the buyers started stepping in, that's the type of chart I would look for. Or if it moves sideways for multiple days, then I would consider that as a trade. But right now, it's just made a straight run up multiple days here. It's not the kind of chart I want to buy. It's the kind of chart I want to sell. So either way, it turned out to be a nice, profitable trade. I also want to remind everybody that if you have Twitter on your, wherever you have it, if you are involved with Twitter at all, if you're interested in picking up a couple trade ideas or information on the market, something I might post out there on Twitter, check my Twitter channel out, Candlestick Trading at Rick Sadler /Twitter. That's Candlestick Trading at Rick Sadler /Twitter. During the day here, I've been posting a few trade ideas and comments on trades and whatnot that you might find helpful and useful. Okay, let's take a look at the SPY. So yesterday, the SPY just kind of a negative day, certainly not a positive day, but not horribly negative. We didn't break down below the previous day's candle. We did come down here and test it. We closed with a darkened candle. I'm going to take a look at this 3-bar chart. We've been looking at this a lot lately, the 3-bar chart. I've had a lot of questions on it. So these last 3 bars, this was yesterday, 1, 2, 3 yesterday, 1, 2, 3 the previous day. And you can see that we closed below, to get yesterday started, we closed below yesterday's last bar, and we talked about that, how we handle this if we close below that bar or if we close above that bar. And here we want to be cautious on buying, possibly short, but I don't know that I would be aggressive short. And even though we continue down, I don't see an aggressive short setting up. Because the bodies are small, and yesterday we ended up with a pretty good doji with a tail and a wick up here. This could be indecision. Indecision meaning that we've been down, 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 down. Well, maybe this one is thinking, hey, maybe I don't want to go down any longer. So let's watch for this. what we need for the bulls to step in, and it doesn't have to happen today. We could move sideways for several days. But what we need is a breakout of this downtrend line. Once we get the breakout of that downtrend line, and truthfully, I probably could have drawn this just a tad better, couldn't I have? There we go. Once we get a breakout of that downtrend line, that will change the trend. I mean, here's the trend down. Now this will start to trend up. A low, a higher low. Now what I'm looking at on this horizontal line is that would be support. So if we break out, as long as price can be red all at once, but as long as it stays above this line, then we'll look at that as a bullish scenario, and this would be a very nice bullish setup. Now, of course, if we fail all through this and we break through this 349.15-ish area, there's a gap here that could get filled, and we're going to go down more. So it's really important what happens today. How is today's first third of the day candle, 130-minute candle, how is it going to act with this candle? What is it going to do with yesterday's last candle? And that's going to be kind of important. So we'll keep an eye on that. FNGU, we're just moving sideways. Nice little doji here. This is a 3-bar chart. Just simply moving sideways. Very clean doji. I think we've got some very clean lines on here. Below 219.85, that puts anything below that kind of puts it in a place where we could test this low or even fill this gap. So if you're a bull, you really don't want to see it go below that 219.85. However, if you are a bull, what you would really like is to see this break out, and if you're a bull, you'd really be happy if it just stayed inside this area here. You'd be okay with that. You just won't be okay if it drops down below. Anything inside this area, there's going to be plenty of stocks to trade long. Anything on a breakout, there'll be more stocks to trade long. So let's keep an eye on FNGU and how the SPY acts there. Okay, a few trade ideas I've got to look at here. Let's start with the daily chart on these. So ABUS, we've gapped up, and for the most part, we've just run sideways with a very slight bullish tilt to it. You can see how that's tilting up. Here we've come back down, and now we've started to put in what looks like the bottoming action of another lift to the upside. Let's take a look at that 3-bar chart, and here's yesterday's 3 bars. We ended up with a doji, a bullish candle, a bullish candle. So if we go back, here we're down, first part of the day, the previous day. Bulls stepped in, bulls followed through, clear resistance, bulls broke out. So this is part of the rest period after the breakout. Up we go, rest and test. Doji up here, this is pretty much a rest and test as well. So I think what we want to look for is any trading pretty much above $3.22 I will look at as bullish. And let's look for a 360 target area up here. And that puts it in the neighborhood of about a 9 to maybe 10, 11% little swing trade. OKE, I believe there's a couple members in our trading room that own OKE, a little oil and gas stock, energy stock. We've got a low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So far a higher low. Nice little doji bullish engulf up here. Trend looks like it's working. Let's sneak over here to a 3-bar chart. And on the 3-bar chart, you can see the real nice chart pattern that it's built. There's our run to the upside, and now we've got a little J-hook setting up, and we also have right through here is a little Morningstar pattern. I've got 29.15 for a stop. It's right on the right at the body, the top of the body on the first Morningstar candle. So anything above 29.15, I'm looking at long, and I'm looking at a target of about 31 up there, 31 and a third, about 6% on that. And once it breaks out, I mean, that's what we need to get to. So there's our first little target. Once it breaks out, then we can reach up and grab some other numbers. And like always, looking for targets is the easiest thing in the world. I had somebody ask me about that the other day. And all you've got to do is look to the left and look at where there's been multiple touches, a battle between the Bulls and the Bears trying to get through this line. Who won? Well, the Bears won, but that makes that a battleground. Look at this right here. Multiple touches. That's all we have to do. OKE. Let's see if that can't get up there and start working. Another one I like is XRT. Now, XRT has been traveling up. It looks like we broke out of this consolidation, this top right over here. Resistance, broke out of this resistance. Looks like we're settling down, consolidating. Yesterday ended up quite well. If we take a look at that 3-bar chart, here's our little, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So each one of those are a day. So in one day, 3 days back, we gapped up, and then we've just consolidated. Then yesterday, we opened up a little lower, came back up and engulfed, and now we're testing. So above 54.17-ish, maybe 54.15, I'm looking for this to maybe reach up for somewhere around that 56.35 area. Kodak, how about a little Kodak? This might be too wild for some folks, maybe it's not as wild as I think it is. We'll just see how it plays out. Let's go to the daily chart first. You can see the daily chart just kind of wandering along here sideways after this gap up. Then all of a sudden, something happened here, these last 3 bars. Some interest in the chart on those last 3 bars. Let's go to that 3-bar chart, and you can see that breakout. Pull back here, very clear where we want our stop. So anything above $9.35, I'm looking at that bullish with a target of $11.90 or so. And that puts it about 23.3% target on Kodak. XSP. Let's go to the daily chart first. So here we're in a downtrend and the bottom starts to construct. As we construct the bottom, we get to the point where the foundation is in, and now it's time to build the building on top of the foundation. Well, here the price action just pops up, and then we come back for a test with a nice little doji down here, pretty wide body doji. Now we go to a 3-bar chart, and we can see that we have 1, 2, 3. So all of yesterday was decided by the bulls. So 1, 2, 3, the previous day was all decided by the sellers. It was the votes went to the sellers. Yesterday, the votes went to the buyers. So we've got a nice candle here, which this is, you can't hardly call this a bullish engulf. You can certainly call it a Hiromi, with an inside day Hiromi and another inside day Hiromi, suggesting the bulls at the end of the day were very happy with this XRPA. So anything above $2.10, above that support line, anything above $2.10, I would look at bullish. Go back to the daily chart, and we may see this thing jump up to 315 up here. And I would, also pay attention to this high right in here. Either way you look at it, if you split the middle, you're looking at 36% swing trade on this. So a lot of money can be made here. MRNA, a few of our members went long on this one yesterday. So here we are. We popped up yesterday, gave us a little bit of selling toward the end of the day. Let's check out that 3-bar chart and take a look at that. See, let me go back to the daily. Sometimes what happens is you see this, you don't know where this occurred during the day. And it's kind of hard to know what just that straight stick does for you. If you take it to a 3-day chart, I really love the 3-day chart, 130 minute, just you can see that, well, that wasn't necessarily on the end of the day, was it? So the first bar gapped up, and then we pulled back during the first bar of the day, and there's 3 bars in a day. Well, this next bar, the bulls hung on to what it owned here. And the next bar ended up being a little doji. I see we're gapping up just a little bit this morning. So there's a chance we come up and test and possibly break out. We could just come up and test and then just move sideways for a couple of days. The point I'm trying to make here is if you look at this 3-bar chart, we've got an up day and we've got rest. What's our favorite chart pattern? Up day and rest. And then we wait for those bulls to step in, and that gives us the clue to be buying on this. I'm looking at 87.10 to be a target area. So buy above that 77.50 and close to it would give you about a 10, maybe 11% target. How about some space? On the daily chart, the space rallied up, pulled back, rallied up, pulled back. That gives us a pretty nice lower high, higher low. Let's go to a 3-bar chart. There we are. And the 3-bar chart, you can see what yesterday did in that 3-bar. What did yesterday's bar do? Well, this is what it did right here. All the previous bars have been down. So the previous day down, the day before that down, the day before that down, the day before that sideways, building a top. So here we are, down, 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 and the bulls took hold and said, we want space back. They took space back. They have follow-through. They have continued follow-through. I would really like it if it would pull back a little bit more, but it may not. I'm going to say over this 10. Sorry, I'm looking for a line. There we go. Looks like we're opening up somewhere in the area of 2205-ish up here. So this could muster up enough energy to break out. Go back that daily chart. See how we're up. We could open up around this 22. I say could because we're still an hour, 7 a.m. my time. So yeah, we're still an hour or so away before the market opens up. Actually longer than that. So we've got a big bullish engulf. Let's watch for follow through breakout. That could give us 2450 up here for a nice move. Nice little swing in space to about 10%. AMD is acting pretty good. We've rallied up, we've pulled back, and now it looks like the bulls are coming back aboard. Take a look at the 3-bar chart, and we can see how we've moved up. Yesterday, we went from a pair of dojis down here, up. This was yesterday, these 3 bars. Up and then consolidated, and then, I'm sorry, this was day before yesterday. Then yesterday, up, and then we've pretty much consolidated here. So I'm going to put my stop on yesterday, these lows on yesterday, or day before yesterday, and then the low on the first bar of yesterday. I'm looking for 91.30 as a target. 91.30 at a target, so that's yesterday's low, and it's about halfway of the previous day. So we'll keep an eye on this. And this, this puts together 7%. That's not, no one's going to holler about that. That's nothing to write home about. But if you're in a simple option, call option, that represent 15 to 20% move. And that's the type of trade that I will take with it. And if you're ever interested in how I do that with options and how if you're confused, believe me, I was at one time as well. It's very, very simple though. Okay. Let's talk about the market real quick. Folks, be careful, okay? In last night's webinar, I hope I beat this to death in a positive way. Look, this market is crazy, crazy stretched out. We've got the election coming up the next 3 weeks. It's going to be hell. I mean, you got to know it is. I don't care who you're voting for. You've got to know that it's insane. We've never had an election quite like this. This may be the craziest election that you'll ever have in your lifetime. God, I hope so. And consider how you want to trade. You really want to risk your money over the next 3 weeks. Well, I don't. So I'm going to be lightening up, probably near cash this weekend. And then going forward, I'm looking at 4, possibly even only 3 positions on at a time, just to lower my risk, okay? All right, with that, I hope to see everybody in the trading room. Remember, look me up on Twitter. I tweet out daily, candlestick trading at Rick Sadler /Twitter. That's candlestick trading candlestick trading at Rick Sadler /Twitter. All right, you guys take care. Have a great, great day.